Hey everybody, and welcome to my first ever Disventure Camp review video, of course reviewing the latest episode to drop, the premiere of Season 5, Total Fanfare. I think I want to try reviews for this season since I think it will be a fun little way to keep you guys updated. I will be continuing to do reactions for the series as well as these reviews, which will be released 1 week after the episode drops. Now, the way I'll be doing this is going to be in 3 sections: the challenge, the characters, and the elimination. That way, we should cover all bases, and my thoughts on the episode will be clear. Without further ado, let's jump into Part 1. The challenge. This challenge was one that we have seen before, and a very simple one at that. The Paintball Capture the Flag challenge returns from Season 1, and I think it was a solid first challenge. I like that it is a relatively action-based one, but also leaves plenty of room for character interactions, which I'll get to in the characters section. I think it made a better appearance here than in Season 1, but I don't think that's saying much since the challenge lasted only a few minutes in that season. The new backdrops are also shown off in this challenge, and I will say that they are very pretty, especially after the dark and dingy carnival of last season. The exotic vibe of the jungle is really pleasing to look at and is a really cool aesthetic. The inside of the volcano in the intro sequence also looks pretty cool. I wonder when we'll get our first look in there in the actual show. I'll also just stick the little journey twist in here as well, as I think it's an alright twist, but just kind of a rehash of DC4's opening twist. Not horrible though. The real fun of this segment comes when I talk about the characters, but we're not quite there yet. One other thing is that I feel the paintball challenge was a little skewed in the favor of the favorites, as some of them have literally already done the challenge, but that's just a nitpick. I think that's all I have to say on the challenge. Solid overall, but now let's move on to the next segment. Part 2. The pacing. Surprise! I chucked in an extra segment. I don't think this will be necessary for the other reviews I do for this season, but it has been brought up quite a lot as a problem in the fandom, so I thought I should address it. The favorites get a lot less screen time than the fans this episode, and some of them, namely Spencer, don't even talk until halfway through the episode. I do think this makes sense as we already know the favorites, but I can see why people have issue with characters only getting a couple of lines of dialogue halfway through the episode. For me personally, I don't think it's an issue, as this episode is about introducing the fans and the favorites only need a quick reintroduction before we start their stories in the next couple of episodes, minus a couple of characters who have already got some story threads going on. For me, the pacing isn't an issue, and I'm fine with how this episode was handled. Could some characters have gotten a few more lines? Yeah, definitely, but their lack of screen time isn't a deal breaker to me, as we still have 25 more episodes to go. Now let's move on to the bulk of what this video's runtime is going to be, and that is the characters. Part 3. The characters. For the characters, I'm going to break things down into sections, each section being focused on a group of characters. We're going to slowly unpack what each group contributed to the episode and see what my thoughts are on their presence. First up, we have Emily, the host of the show. I think she has a fun vibe and is the best host we've had so far. Please can we just keep her forever, Odd Nations? We really don't need to swap hosts again. Emily didn't do much this episode, just hosted the show like she's supposed to, and it was enjoyable to watch while she did it. I liked her interactions with the fans, like when Aubrey asked her what time she was born, or when Bruno said he had been practicing his handwriting. She just looks weirded out as if regretting casting these guys, which is honestly fair enough. The powers of the teams is very skewed in this episode, as the favorites get straight to business and function effectively as a team, as they have all played the game before and know what they're doing. Meanwhile, the fans are a mess and have no sense of leadership or teamwork, and all go off and do their own thing in the challenge, which makes them lose in the end. Over time, the fans will likely become more competent and stop getting clapped by the favorites, but before then, they're gonna have some real unfortunate losses. I've seen a complaint online as well that it's weird how the favorites already know each other, and it's lazy writing to say they've just watched each other's seasons. However, I think people are forgetting that they all had to get a plane into the same place to get picked up by the private helicopter that took them to Saluna Island. They've already probably had a couple of hours to introduce themselves to each other, so it does make sense that they have already been acquainted. Is it still lazy writing and annoying we didn't get to see it on screen? Yes, but I'm not too bothered by the fact they already know each other because of this. The favorites had quite a bit less screen time than the fans this episode, as has already been established, so I'm going to talk about all of them first, starting with the Cyan Alliance of Tom, Gabby, Lake, and Aiden. Lake and Aiden both had basically no impact on the episode, as they both just followed Tom's plan in the challenge, and Aiden got to bully Alec, while Lake got to check up on Rose's well-being only to get immediately dismissed. Overall, I was happier with Lake this episode, probably because I've seen enough of Aiden already for a lifetime, although I do love his new design. Lake's too, actually. Gabby also followed Tom's plan, but the other thing she got to do was have an interaction with Olivia, who I'm calling Rip Off Gabby in my reactions as a joke. Olivia asks if she can taxidermy Gabby's pets when they die, to which Gabby walks away awkwardly. I don't like this interaction, as I feel it mischaracterizes Gabby. Back in Season 1, Gabby was the oddball and was left out a lot, however she has grown with the support of friendship. I don't think Gabby would just walk away from Olivia weirded out and instead try to support her, but I guess Odd Nations just wanted to have a joke in there, which is fine, I guess. As already stated, Tom was the leader of his team in this episode and was generally entertaining in this role and was just a joy to see. His new VA is doing really well as well. He did have a moment with a fan, which I'll talk about when we get to the fan in question. Overall, this group was alright in this episode, or I'm not going to be jumping with joy when I see them again next episode. Alec got the most screen time of the favourites in this episode, but I'm also going to be talking about Fiore alongside him. Everybody hates Alec in this episode, which is mostly valid, although I thought people were mad with Fiore. It's not too important though, as it is just a setup for Alec and Fiore fighting for survival on the team. They do a good job establishing this as well, with Alec and Fiore's conversation at the start of a challenge, talking about needing an idol. Alec getting an advantage from the Little Journey twist is interesting as well, can't wait to see what he's going to do with that. Fiore was her usual entertaining self, and Alec was written quite a bit better than he was in All Stars already. I'm loving these two already, and can't wait to see more of them. The next two up are Rosa and Anastasia, and other than Alec, these two definitely got the most focus out of the favourites this episode. I really like the setup for Rosa's arc in this episode, as she is going to learn that sometimes she needs support from others too, which is a cool arc to give to a quote-unquote support character. I am starting to think that Rosa might be a late pre-merge boot from this though, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I like that she's a boutique owner now, I think that definitely fits her character. The only question is who's looking after Sophia this time? Presumably her sister, but it's not outright stated, well at least not yet. Maybe even Maggie, who knows? As for Anastasia, she's mostly interacted with Rosa this episode, other than humbling Alec at the start. She genuinely seems to have become a more chill person and is playing a much better game this time around. However, we do still see that spark in her, like when she chases down Dunia and tackles her. Her helping Rosa start a fire was really sweet as well, and I look forward to seeing more of them together, since that scene was probably one of the best in the whole episode. Anastasia's already awesome this season, and I look forward to what other stories she can tell. Next up is Benji and Ali, and these two really only had one scene in this episode, other than Benji being his usual self and falling over while exiting the helicopter. I also like Emily's line about the Benjinators, that was great to hear. Although I may not be as vocal as some others, I would indeed classify myself a Benjinator. Ali and Benji's talk was entertaining as well, and I like their friendship a lot. I think it would be funny if the creators broke Ali and Hunter up just so she can get with Benji, but since Tristan exists, I don't think this is gonna be the case. The way they absolutely destroy Manu and Bruno with paintballs is really funny as well. And with that, we only have our two least prevalent favorites to talk about, Natalia and Spencer. Natalia is still a one-liner machine, and I like her redesign a lot. Ren fanboying on Natalia, and her reaction is cool to see as well. As for Spencer, he just talks about how his gameplay last season was trash and makes himself look like a tree so he can shoot Sam. Not much to say about these two, just that I'm intrigued to see what they have to offer down the line. Moving over to the fans' side, I'm starting with Manu and Bruno. I think these two have a fun friendship throughout the episode and have decent enough chemistry together. I really like Manu, his whole vibe is just so fun, and I really like his design as well. It's really slick, and I don't know, I just really like him, okay? Bruno's whole thing is being a fanboy and talking about how he's a personal assistant, which makes Noura make fun of him for, but I'll save that for the Noura segment. Bruno is a fine enough character, but I'm not really hyped by the thought of him. He just didn't really do anything interesting in the episode and was more of a joke character, but was overshadowed in that aspect by a certain wealthy heiress. Overall, these two are fun, but I like Manu a lot more. Dunia was really fun this episode. She was just the vibe and the person keeping spirits up on the fans. She was nice to everyone and has this awesome fun persona that's really hard to hate. Her interaction with Ren was also funny and just set the stage for what we can expect from both of their characters. There's not much to analyze with Dunia at the moment, except that she was a joy to watch. The one thing I have to say about Ren is, does this man ever stand on the floor? He is in the trees for 90% of this episode, and it's really stupid, but absolutely hilarious. I think this is a cool character trait for him though, if you can even call it that, since it gives him a unique feel to the rest of the fans, already one of my favorites. Then we come to the quote-unquote mean girls of the season, Finn and Ara. Let's start this segment off with a hot take. I'm not a huge fan of Ara, really. She's just another girl boss character, and with Anastasia in this season as well, I really can't bring myself to care about her. Finn, however, is a very different story. He's my favourite character in the season so far, and I love every second that this guy is on screen. His design is glorious, but I am confused how he's 18. Like, this guy is definitely not 18, and you cannot convince me that he is. He already has some hilarious one-liners like, "I'll check my gay address book," and "Evie, darling, could you please shut up?" His celebrity crush on Tom is also really funny, since it leads to a moment where Tom lands on top of him, and then he flirts with him, then Tom walks away awkwardly, and he just lies there waving his leg around like an idiot. Like, it's so funny. I already love Finn's whole vibe and want to see more of him so badly, but Aura, I'm kind of indifferent on. Next up is Evie, the only character amazing enough to get a segment all to herself, which she definitely earned. Pre-season, I wasn't so sure on her and just chucked her an F tier since I thought she would piss me off, but after episode 1, I absolutely adore this woman. She is absolutely useless and fails in almost every regard. She just sleeps during the challenge, then flirts with Alec during the little journey twist, which makes for a funny interaction, especially Alec's confessionals in between. She does nothing to help the team the entire episode, but is still an absolute icon. I love it when she's whining in the cave scene and unintentionally rage-baiting Finn, but just has no idea why he's getting so annoyed. It is just so funny. Aubrey's pep talk that encourages her to run around like a crazy person in the rain is also really funny. I don't even know what her story is supposed to accomplish, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if she was out next, but if she does go out next, then at least she was an absolute icon for her entire stay. Ernesto and Nura are up next, which you might think is a weird combo, but they both did practically nothing this episode, so I grouped them together. Ernesto has a beautiful and majestic beard, as well as a weirdly proportioned stomach, but his design is really good overall, and I just want this man to finish one sentence next episode to make me happy. From what I've seen online, Nura is quite popular, and she is being shipped with Dunia, but I just don't see that being a reality anymore. Nura was honestly so annoying this episode. She just spouted negativity for no particular reason, and made fun of Bruno, which just wasn't entertaining at all. I don't like Nura as of now, but I hope she'll start being more positive as time goes on, or she'll stay low on my tier list. Her chemistry with Zunia is 0 as of now, but who knows, maybe that'll change in the future. And finally, we've got Olivia, Sam, and Aubrey. I don't like Olivia at all, and will be calling her Rip-Off Gabby for the rest of this segment, and every time I ever talk about her on this channel again, unless she does something to warrant being called by her actual name. Rip-Off Gabby basically just talks to Aubrey the whole episode because she's a social failure, and Aubrey accepts her because of her star sign. She does ask Gabby for a weird favor with the whole taxidermizing her pets thing, but Gabby's character comes off worse from this situation. Sam is just a chill and supportive guy throughout the episode, and he was really likable for that, and I already was chill with him. His confessional at the end of the episode intrigued me a lot though, and I'm excited to see a more villainous Sam in the future. As for Aubrey, I really liked her off her introduction video, but in the actual season, yeah, she just sucked. She had the most unlikable trait of judging people off the time of the year they were born, which I think is just really messed up, to be honest. Aubrey wasn't funny this episode either, except maybe when she asked Emily what time she was born. Overall, Aubrey was a huge disappointment, because the very rare few seconds that she isn't talking about some astrology crap, she's actually a very endearing character, which is just unfortunate and a waste of a character, to be honest. Part 4, the elimination. Moving on to the elimination, after seeing what Aubrey's character was going to be for this season, I think booting her here is fine. I mean, I'd want to keep her if she was more chilled out and less obsessive with astrology, but as it stands, Aubrey going out here is fine. I like how everybody was in agreement to vote off Bruno, then Aubrey randomly insults Sam for being a Scorpio, and literally everybody other than Rip-Off Gabby decides she's too weird to stay. She gets immediately humbled for trying to get someone eliminated for being born at a certain time in a depressing 10-2 vote. I was cackling when the votes were being read because it was so funny, but she got absolutely destroyed when she could have completely avoided it.
Yes!
Wow, she got destroyed, oh my god.
Wait, did you get them right?
What?
I think you got them. You said 2 votes Sam and 10 votes Aubrey.
Yeah, Aubrey's cooked.
Alright, you were literally right.
Solid first elimination, although I think Alessio's was still far better. Part 5, Conclusion. To finish things off, Disventure Camp 5 Fans Thirst Favorites Episode 1 was solid. Nothing too big to complain about, just a standard premiere episode. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 as of now, but my rating can and will likely change over time. I'm not sure if I'll be reviewing every episode individually or if I'll do it every 3 episodes or something like that, but I'll make sure to release these reviews whenever I feel like I've got enough to talk about. I tried a much simpler and more standstill editing style this time, although I'm not sure how it's going to be received. Let me know in the comments if you guys like it, alright? That's all for now, and I'll see you guys next week for my episode 2 reaction. Bye!